Hi, Luther from Yelp.
Hi.
I guess we share one mutual dream to integrate between diplomacy, policy, politics, and high tech.
It's important in this interconnected world.
Can you share? Because you have a very
I mean, I think it's, you know, if you don't have different nations communicating with one another, a strong diplomatic relations, that makes everything else so much harder. You know, you look at the situation right now with privacy issues in Europe and versus the U.S. and creating kind of differing standards. That's just like off the top of my head. So, I think to the extent that we are working to strengthen and foster diplomatic ties, that's going to promote the health of the internet and innovation as a whole.
and coming from high tech and prior to that politics. Do you think that there is a role for high tech people in creating these bridges between countries or influencing the politics?
I definitely think you need to have people who are digitally literate and understand the technology, at least having a seat at the table. You see that right now. I think the Trump administration is trying to do what it can to sort of reach out to Silicon Valley, for example. And I think you saw that in the previous administration as well. You want to make sure that it's not totally done by government bureaucrats, but people who have hands-on experience with the technology.
And you worked with people in politics and in high tech, and you got them to sit in the room and understand the technology.
Sometimes they understood, but I think politics is a noble profession as well. People get into politics and public service to help improve the lives of their constituents, and I think we not only need to have policymakers not only need to provide an audience for technologists, but it's got to be a two-way street. You need to make sure that both sides are working to kind of be literate in both worlds, because I think there's a tendency within the tech community to declare that this could be solved with an app, or this is the government moves too slow. But I don't know if
to make the world a better place through applications or governance?
Yeah, I don't know if. Well, I don't know if there's. Yeah, I mean that's kind of the premise of I think a lot of tech people's position, but I think a lot of times they don't fully appreciate what goes into governing, and so I think that's you really have to have kind of mutual understanding from both sides.
Mutual understanding about Y and Z generation and creating jobs. Is there something that you see how these entities can put their forces together to solve this issue of no jobs for a younger generation?
I mean, honestly, I think that the way that we can promote jobs is promoting competition in the marketplace. And I'd argue that right now, the tech community, or a lot of technology opportunities, opportunities for employment and competition are diminished because you have 99 cents of every new dollar in online advertising last year went to one of two companies. You have, if you look at Google, Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook's combined market cap in the number of employees that they have, and then you compare that to sort of the industrial era and General Motors, and how many people were being employed by those firms versus relative to their market caps versus these tech firms. Like we need to be conscientious of the effect on employment that concentration we're seeing in the tech world is creating.
Well, I hope we get companies from Israel and from the US to work on that.
I hope so too.